Morning, boys and girls. It's Wednesday, the 5th of June, 2019. Welcome along to this morning's United Kingdom talk. This is not karaoke, you may have noticed. It's not karaoke, it's United Kingdom talk coming to you from the Chapel Hill Marina here in Lincolnshire. When you get the wrong title up there, you know, like it said, I know it said like a few minutes ago, it said karaoke from Central Station. It means I've forgotten to do something. I have to go into a little bit of software and type in today's show and I whatever the title happens to be. And I have to do that before I actually start, before I push the start stream button. Otherwise, it brings up the old title and I forgot to do it. And once we've started, the only way to change the title then is to go into each stream individually. So that's Facebook, YouTube, Periscope. I can never get into the Periscope one. I have to go into each thing individually and change it there, and at some point it changes back. Now if it still says karaoke on your thing now and it's bothering you, then just refresh it, okay? Close the screen, reopen it, and it should come up with the correct title there. Sorry to confuse you this morning. I expect Joanna won't even fire it up. If she sees the word karaoke, that's it. She's off. She's off out of here, mate. Can't stand here singing Chrissy singing this morning, can you? Dear me. Very wet here yesterday, I must say, up here in Lincolnshire. Journey up here. Lovely karaoke on Monday night. Very nice. Oh, hang on a minute. What's that wire on there? Just a minute, let me just move a wire there because that's hanging down the back there. Nice karaoke at Central Station. A little bit quiet. Well, when I say quiet, the karaoke had enough singers. We had 17 singers, believe it or not, on Monday night. But what we didn't have was other people in the pub. So we had a little karaoke group, but no one else, which, I mean, kind of tells you, you know, if there was no karaoke going on in there on a Monday night, it wouldn't have been anyone in there until later on. Some more people came later on. And as usual, what happens is that people come in sort of 10:15. They see the karaoke and they want to sing. Well, it's only on till 11. So by a quarter to, sometimes 9:30, but certainly by a quarter to 10 o'clock, we're full up. We can't fit anyone else in that queue of songs. And so it's not possible, unfortunately, to fit anyone else in. Come earlier, that's all I can say to you. That's karaoke at Central Station on Monday nights, 7:30 to 11, and of course Friday nights 8:30 until midnight. Okay, very wet here yesterday. It was wet on the way up here, coming up here, and yes, there seemed to be an awful lot of rain, and particularly yesterday afternoon. It wasn't cold though, which was quite nice. We did do our little Skegness trip last night, a day earlier than we usually go. We usually go to Skegness. That's me, my sister, and my brother-in-law. We are like 3 children in the car. You know, you often hear older people say, oh, well, we never grew up. We haven't. I mean, I'm just trying to imagine if my uncles and aunties were like this, out of view of us children at the time. I mean, sadly, I'm starting to lose a lot of people now. You know, as you get older, I guess you lose lots of people. Mum and Dad, of course, Uncle Malcolm, Uncle Michael, Auntie Pat, Uncle Terry's a wonderful man, and Auntie Shirley. Losing more and more people now. And I'm trying to imagine if they were as silly and as mad when they went out on their own, away from us children, as we are now. You know, some of the stuff we talk about, it's like a children's playground. It is. And the rudeness. The stuff, and you would never imagine talking, my mum and dad and aunts and uncles talking about the stuff that we discuss. It's funny, isn't it, really? Is that the same for you as well? When you're away, perhaps that some of you with children, when you're away from your children, do you act like you did when you were a teenager, I wonder? Do you? Let's say hello to some of you this morning. Mark Jones, look like you get the first message of the day. Good morning, Mark. Diane Jebb there. Hello, Diane. Haley and Lee, good morning to you too. Lovely. LaBelle Stud. Oh, stop calling me a stud muffin. Come on, LaBelle. That might have been about 20 years ago in my 30s. I was very good looking in my I'm sure you've been through my photographs. There's some awful photographs. I keep wondering whether I should go through my Facebook photographs and take out the ones where I look really awful. For example, there's a few in there where I'm completely off my head after being out all weekend. And I think maybe you upload photos that you think were quite good at the time, and then you look back years later and they're just awful, aren't they? Morning, LaBelle. Morning to Mr. Ray Reynolds. Morning, Ray. Hawan, I love that. Hawan, 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready and go, cat, go. So don't you step on my blue suede shoes. You can do anything but stay off my blue suede shoes. Are you an Elvis fan? My ex-wife was a massive Elvis fan. She had all the records, posters and everything. Always had Elvis Presley playing. Yes, he liked the old burgers, unfortunately, didn't he? Yeah. Morning to Dukey Chrissy baby. Morning, Duke. Kelly Wild is in the house. Good morning, Kelly. Have you not seen the little opening video? Have you not seen all that business going on there, Kelly? God, I thought you knew all that film at the beginning. Maureen, funnily enough, was saying, is Maureen with us yet? She might not be with us yet. No, a bit early for Maureen, maybe. Maureen was saying on Monday night, she called me over, and she said, thank you for putting up that little sign at the beginning of your show. And I'm like, what sign do you mean? The sign that says show starting at whatever time, 9:30 or something like that. And I said to Maureen, that's always on there. I don't know why she hasn't seen it before, whether or not she perhaps joins the show a little bit later on. Or, Maureen, does she mean, this is on YouTube, okay? Does she mean the sign that I put up before I actually run the little film, the one that says, which usually goes up anything from between 5 and 20, 25 minutes before the show, that says today's show starting at 9:30. I might put that up about 9:10. Is that the sign she means? In which case, I don't know how she's managed to see that on YouTube, because that doesn't go on YouTube. It's usually a sign with perhaps balloons or footballs, and it's very. I try to choose something with lots of colours, because we like colours. Colours make you happy. Colours make me very happy. Bright red, bright yellow is my... I'm liking yellow at the moment. I'm really liking the colour yellow or mustard at the moment for some reason. Bright red, bright blue, green, yellow. No beige. Not beige. Not white. Not black. Not grey. Boring colours. Bright colours. The sort of things that you can see on breakfast television in the morning. Like the BBC with all its red, and the ITV thing with all its bright colours. I think there's a lot of yellow in there, isn't there? I like bright colours, yes. Morning to... So I don't know how Maureen's managing. She's either seeing the beginning of the film. So that's where we have the opening film, which is 5 minutes long. The reason for that is I run that so it allows people to join us, you see. So, it's going to start in 5 minutes. Gives you a chance to get your cup of tea together. And the little sign at the bottom that says today's show starts at 9:25. Or... does she mean the picture that I put up around about 20 minutes before? Because if she's seeing that on YouTube, I don't know how, because I don't put it on YouTube. Isn't that strange and mysterious? There are dark forces are at work, boys and girls. Be very warned. Be very warned. Morning to Michael Lawrence. Good morning, young Michael. Adrian Richardson in the house. Morning, Adrian, who's just swallowed a big bug. Oh my God, macaroni cheese. Oh, have you swallowed a bug? What was on it? What was it? A fly? Funnily enough, you should mention bugs and things. I was in Aldi last night in Skegness, and they've got this fly killer. And it's in a box, and you open the box, and it's like in this little silver packet, all wrapped up. And you open that, and you place it into position, and it says it gives you 90 up to 3 months, 90 days of mosquito, midge, fly-free room, up to 30 square metres it covers. And so I've got this now. I got one out. I bought two, actually. And they were only about £1.20 each, something like that. So I've opened this thing and I've put it next to the television in the front room. Well, just side of the television in the front room. Because I do seem to get... if I leave the door open at the caravan, we get flies in. At the moment, it's those, and they change over the year, don't they? At the moment, it's those horrible, great big black things. Oh, they're evil. You know, they look and they sit somewhere, don't they? They land and they look at you. There was one, it was like a horror film last Friday. Before I left the caravan last Friday, this fly came in and I was having my dinner and it was buzzing around me. Buzzing around me, this fly, right? Okay? And it kept landing near me and it was waiting for me to take my eye off my dinner. Not that it would have liked any of it, because flies are meat eaters, aren't they? It would have been interested in my carrots. But it obviously thought there was some sort of meat on the plate, and there wasn't, because I'm vegetarian. But eventually, I finished the dinner. I thought, I'm going to leave a little bit of gravy on the plate. And sure enough, this bastard fly landed on my plate. And started licking up my roast onion gravy. And I looked around. I didn't want to move too quickly. In the case that I might frighten the fly off. So I'm kind of just moving my son. And what have I got around me? I'm looking around. And on the settee, there is the instructions for my very difficult to operate Toshiba telly. I got a new Toshiba telly. It's only a 40-inch. And it was on special offer. It wasn't very dear. But the sorting of the channels is something else, let me tell you that. I have a LG television at home, two LG televisions at home, actually, at the house in Bracknell. And that was easy. You just type in your postcode and it sorts all the channels and it's all wonderful. Not with the Toshiba one, dear. Oh my God. On the satellite section, because it's got a satellite input as well, on the satellite section, I've got about 200 different versions of BBC One. You know, all the different regions. Now, with the LG telly, okay, with the LG one, you start it up and then you tell it where you live and then it sorts it. BBC One, for example, up here, BBC One, Yorkshire and North East Lincolnshire it is up here, I get. BBC One, Yorkshire and North Lincolnshire, and then BBC Two, Yorkshire and North Lincolnshire, ITV, Yorkshire, Channel 4, Channel 5, and then onwards. You know, 6 might be ITV2, 7 might be BBC One HD, and so on. Not here. Oh, no. You fire it up, and it might start BBC One London, Channel 1, BBC One London, Channel 2, BBC One Yorkshire, Channel 3, BBC One Scotland, and it goes on and on. BBC 2 might be at Channel 77. It's all over the place, and there doesn't seem to be a way to set the different channels other than go through the entire bloody list and then create favourites, right? Which I've kind of done to a point, except now BBC News 24 is now Channel 1, BBC 1 is now on Channel 2, BBC 2 is on number 3, and it's just all over the place. And I've looked and I've searched and I've gone through this instruction book. I can't work out how to do it. And it's strange. And if you don't separate by pushing another button the aerial channels and the satellite channels, they're just hundreds, and there are literally thousands of channels, and you're going up, you can't find anything, dear. So I've now got, I mean, all those channels that we've got available, I've now set up a favourites, which is, as I say, BBC News Channel 1, BBC 1 Channel 2, BBC 2 Channel 3, and so on and so forth. It's just so complicated, that Toshiba telly to set up. I can't recommend you buy one of those, dear. Stick with LG, at least you know it works. Or Panasonic, that one works as well. I had an old Panasonic one, that seemed to sort out the channels properly. And interestingly enough, on the Toshiba one, there isn't anywhere to enter in your postcode like there was on the LG one. On the LG one, it's United Kingdom, enter your postcode, and it just seems to sort everything automatically. And yes, indeed, you've got all these other different BBC One regions and ITV One regions, but they're at the other end in the sort of channel 1963 and right at the other end, out of the way. So it's there if you want it, but you wouldn't want to watch what's happening in BBC One Scotland. Why I'm not in Scotland, or Wales, or down on the south coast, or in Anglia. Why would I want to know that? No, I just want the local one that's on there. It's just so complicated, it really is. Very complicated. So do be careful of your bugs. So this fly is flying, and it's now on my dinner plate, right? I've looked over. There it is. And the only thing I could see was the Toshiba instruction book. I say instruction book, instruction pamphlet. There's about 3 pages in here. You know, quick start. The actual manual is on the television itself. And that indeed is madness as well. So you go onto this Toshiba screen, you press the home button, and then you go to manuals, and there it tells you, or it tries to tell you how to do things, and I can't make any head out of it. No wonder I was so useless at school. 2 O-levels, that's all I got. I couldn't learn anything from a book. I'm one of those people, I'm afraid. Show me how to do it with your hands. I can show you a lot of things that you could do with your hands if you want to, lads. Just let me know. Show me how you want to do it with your hands, and then I'll be able to do it. No, but some of the teachers, there you go, read that book and I'll ask you questions on it tomorrow. No, that didn't work for me, I'm afraid. Thick as a plank. Thick as a plank. They say, Chris, why don't you try for a job on LBC? You must be joking, mustn't you? You've got to be intelligent to go on there. Do I look like an intelligent person? No, dear. No. Not at all. Back to the fly story. So I've seen it. So I've carefully, very carefully, picked up this little Toshiba book. I'm looking at this fly. It's licking my plate. Oh, you know, it makes you want to chuck the plate away, doesn't it? I know if you wash it, that will be perfectly all right in decent water and washing up fairy liquid or whatever it is. Incidentally, if you're gay and you were offended by the word fairy at that point, just turn it off, okay? Just turn me off, because I can't be bothered with you. I can't be bothered with the permanently offended. Oh, he said fairy and I'm gay. Oh, I'm really offended. God's sake, man. Anyway, so I'm moving it slowly, and there it is. The fly's still drinking the gravy. Like that. Done that. And I picked it up, and there it is. Dead fly in the gravy. Excellent. So I then picked up my Toshiba instruction manual, which is now covered in gravy. Fortunately, it was a hot day outside, so I quickly took the instruction manual, over to the sink. Give it a quick wash under there, got all the gravy off, and put it straight outside in the sun on the table, on the wooden table outside. Done. Good. So I've had my dinner. Gonna wash the plates up now. Picked up the plate, took it over to the sink, and I'm looking. Where's the fly? It's on here somewhere, and I'm looking around. When I eat dinner, once I've finished dinner, pudding, whatever the meal is, I finish the meal. You know me. I don't leave food on the plate, other than dead flies. And I'm looking, so there's not really any lumps on there at all. And I can't find this. Don't say that survived and has crawled off somewhere. I can't believe it would have flown with heavy gravy weighting its little wings down. It can't have done. Anyway, so I'm looking. I thought, well, it must be on. Maybe it's smashed into the gravy or something. So I put it under the tap, rinsed it off, and give it a good clean, and then put it on there. And then I thought, I'm not happy with that. So I put even more washing up liquid on it and rinsed it again and put it on there and then put it on the rack. This is Friday afternoon. So then I've gone to bed for a while, got up, and I'm just about to make myself a tea, and I looked in the sink. What do you think is sitting in the sink looking at me? A large black fly. Now, the question is it that one that somehow survived going down the sink? Or maybe it crawled off the plate somewhere else in the caravan, it cleaned its wings, flew into the sink, knowing full well that I was going to be in that sink, not literally, and was waiting for me. I thought, oh my God, quickly turned the tap on, down it went. In went the plug, dear. That was like something out of a horror film. It come back to haunt me, this dead fly. Except it wasn't dead. I hope it's dead now. So that in went the plug, and then I took the plug out a bit later, and on went the tap for 10 minutes. It's all right, I'm not on a water meter here, dear. Oh my God, leave the tap on for hours. Isn't that strange and mysterious? So there is the case of the attacking fly, and that's what's making me worried about that fly that you just swallowed, Adrian. Will it come back out of your gullet at some point? Just, I hope it don't come out when you're talking to me in the pub. Hello, Chris. Or can you just imagine that? If you opened your mouth to talk to someone and an insect flew out. Is that one of those things? My niece, she's over in Cyprus at the moment. Oh, where's that come from? My niece is living in Cyprus at the moment, and she has so far discovered a lizard, which she didn't like, which are absolutely harmless. They're these little lizards, and you get them in lots of countries, and I think they're kind of cute. Used to have them in Australia. Been to Australia. I've been lucky enough to go to Australia 5 times, and certainly up north in Cairns, they have these geckos, and they're if you're in like a hotel which is kind of on the ocean, they can get into the room, but they're no problem, and they stick on the ceiling, walking along the ceiling, and they're very good. They catch the evil bugs. Let me tell you now, you'd rather have a lizard in your room than a cockroach. And when I say a cockroach, I don't mean a British cockroach, you know. I mean an Australian cockroach. This big, massive, man-eating cockroaches in Australia, dear. Be afraid. Be very, very afraid. And these geckos, they walk along the ceiling, and eventually, I don't know if they go to sleep on the ceiling. They literally fall off. And you can be there, you know, just about to go off to sleep, and suddenly, like that, as another gecko has fallen off the ceiling. But they don't hurt. I think they're cute geckos. My niece, no, she's not keen on them. And yesterday, was it yesterday or doing this week, she has discovered another bug. Another unidentified bug in the house. She's not liking them. She's not liking them at all. Good morning to Russ Philip Vernon over there on Facebook. Clarissa, good morning. It's raining in Manchester. Well, doesn't it always rain in Manchester? There in Glasgow, permanent rain features in those places. Awful. Clarissa can see me in a Peter Pan costume. Is that right? Morning to Mark Kemper. Michael Pullman. Morning, sir. He's in Australia. He knows what I mean about the geckos. The geckos are there. LaBelle. They were as silly. Understand they had full lives before we came to be. Do you think so? Oh dear. Let's just scroll down a long way there. Bum, bum, bum. Michael Lawrence. Good morning, Michael. I was married once. Yes, long time ago. 1983 it was. All right. And let's just do YouTube people as well. Good morning to Maureen joining us there. We're just talking about your stuff there. Hope you were there at the beginning there, Maureen. Paul and Lou. Good morning, Paul and Lou. Nice to see you early this morning for a change. Claire's there, is doing karaoke. You noticed that. Yeah, there was the wrong thing there. The wrong karaoke thing there. Lee Mills is there. He does his own, I think he's doing radio shows. Radio or video, I'm not quite sure which now. No Way on Vaughan Live. Good morning to No Way there. Claire says, I can see where this is going. There's going to be a dead animal very soon. There was a fly, I'm afraid. The fly has gone. The fly has gone. Sorry, I can't keep up with your messages there this morning. Flies in your house? No, in the caravan. Yeah, flies in the caravan. They do come in here. There was a horror film called The Fly, wasn't there? I remember that. It didn't look like a fly. It looked like a made fly. Didn't look natural, did it really? Paul and Lou, for 10 minutes I've been watching May the 31st's programme. It wasn't any better. These shows don't get any better, believe me. If you think you can sit there, those of you that are sitting there thinking, is this going to get better at some point? No, it won't. So you might as well just go now. I wouldn't hang around if I didn't like something. I certainly wouldn't put comments up on the screen saying how bad the show was. I'd just turn it off, wouldn't you? Let's have a look. I can't help it with my greetings. You look a bit like a guy I went out with for a moment. Do I look like someone you went out with? Do I? Was he good looking as well then, LaBelle? Good morning to Abdirazak. Good morning to you, sir. Nice to see you popping up there. Tommy Flynn is in the house. Adrian has got a TV, a Samsung Smart 4. All dancing, was easy to set up. I didn't even get a Korean TV, which is quite good. I think it must be you, Chris. I'm a sound engineer to fit you up. No, it's just, you just can't sort the channels out on this Toshiba television. Most annoying. Oh no, Tommy has now sent a report to Ofcom about my fairy comment. Well, you're the biggest fairy on here, Tommy. Straight acting, do me a favour, love. Straight acting. You, Tommy? I don't think so, dear. Morning to Adam the plumber. Now, Adam's straight acting because he is a plumber. Yes, goes around with his little bag of tools, banging away on people's systems. Dong, 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 dong. Like that he goes until it's fixed. Morning, Adam. By the way, I turned my solar panel off. Did I tell you? Adam, I've been having a problem with the solar panel, which had started leaking. I've now completely turned it off. And on Monday, because we haven't spoken since Monday, have we? I beg your pardon. On Monday, I rang up these solar panel people and said, right, this is what I've done. I've turned a screw in the pipe, which has stopped the water going into the expansion tank. And I've now disconnected the little solar panel from the pump, which drags the water up into the solar panel, which was pouring out water on Monday. Have I turned it off? And he said, yes. He said, do you want us to come out? I said, no, I'm just going to leave it. I just don't, I think it's going to be another £500 minimum to have this thing fixed. Well, I mean, how much in a year do you spend on heating water? Not £500. It's not. I can push my little boiler button for 10 minutes. It's all 10 minutes. 10 minutes. And it heats up, and then turn it off, and then the water's heated up. And that lasts for 2 days. It's pointless having that thing fixed. It really is. It's too dear. Clarissa reckons that fly was another fly plotting revenge. You could be right there, my love. Yeah, LaBelle thinks there might be 2 flies. It could have been 2. Was it 2 or was it 1? We will never know. Because hopefully they're both dead now. Horrible things, aren't they, flies? Nasty things, nasty thing. Let's just, there's so many. I can't keep up with you this morning, gang. Juan detests flies and for God's sake possess 4 wings, and these insects flutter violently and fly in a Mothra kind of way. Sorry, cockroaches. Oh, cockroaches in flight are scary. And stag beetles. Years ago, I think I was about 20 at the time, 19 or 20. I was in a pub called the Highwayman in Roehampton. It's not there anymore. And there was this, everyone was amazed by this massive stag beetle flying around one of the lamps in the pub. Because, of course, in those days, all lights got hot. So I suppose it liked the heat and the light coming off it. Everyone's like, oh, look at the fire. And I'm like, oh, why are they all bothered by that? So I went to the bar to get my drink. And this bloody fling flew into my hair. Oh, it was frightening. Well, I like that. Oh, no. Horrible. Not keen on beetles. Not keen on beetles. Again, when I was in Australia, up north in Cairns, me and my cousin, and who was his new wife at the time, we were walking along to a pizza place. Past all the lovely posh hotels and all that. And we came across a beetle that was upside down. It was going like that. It was upside down. Somehow it had landed upside down. And my new, Anna her name was, my new cousin's wife decided to assist it. And just gently, with the tip of her shoe, tipped it up the other way. You know, trying to do it a favour. When it immediately stood on its 2 hind legs and started hissing at us. Very, very ungrateful. Very, very ungrateful. That's what they are. Good morning to Alan Carruthers. Morning. Who's watching on YouTube but commenting on here. Comment wherever you want. Either YouTube or there. They all get to me. It's just impossible to read them all out, though, I'm afraid, my darlings. All right. So I'll just pick and choose this morning, I think. Adam, I would not say that your shows... I would not say that, Chris, your shows... I like vintage wine and a bit fruity, sometimes a strange taste, but it always gives you a pleasant feeling after you've watched one. The shows get better as the years go on. Do you think so? That's what I hope. I hope that, although this is all rubbish, you know what a low opinion I have of myself, but this is all just a little bit of fun and a bit of rubbish in the morning, and it may not be of interest, but I hope it does leave you with something of a pleasant feeling afterwards. A little bit like a lemon sherbet. Oh, I bought a packet of those from Aldi yesterday. Lemon sherbets. Oh, yes, please. Thank you. LaBelle. She's talking about this bloke that she went out, looked like me. I thought he was rather cute. He was very pleasant when he asked me, persistent when he asked me out. He wore me down till I said yes. Is that right? Is that what I've got to do to sort of, I don't know, who's the new lad on Watchdog? I don't know what his name was. There was a new lad on Watchdog the other day. He looks very pleasing on the eye. Shall I just keep sending him messages, you know, until he gives in? Does that work? I mean, does that work? That's the question. No way says beetles don't bite or sting, nothing to fear. Yeah, they're just a bit frightening, aren't they? And they're big, aren't they, some beetles? Massive things like that they are on the floor, hissing. Like, yeah, like a cat. Morning to Julian. Julian's in Mallorca, Palma in Mallorca. 82 Fahrenheit today, that's 28 centigrade. That's all right. That's about my limit, to be honest. Sort of 80, low 80s is my limit. I'm still comfortable there. After that, I start getting very uncomfortable. My sister and her husband at this moment are on their way to Gatwick Airport. They left at, I think, around about 7 or 8 o'clock this morning. And they're off to Gatwick Airport. They got a flight they've left ever so early, but my sister wants to be there early, and she's not someone that flies very often at all. Certainly, my brother-in-law hasn't flown for years and years and years. So they're going to go to the airport and just watch planes take off. There's a big window at Gatwick. You can see. Oh, actually, I don't know if there is in the. There is in the business lounge. Yes, there is. Yeah, if they go through to the gates, they'll be able to see the planes taking off and all that from the runway. So they'll probably be there. I can see where they are, actually. I've got one of those apps what tells you where they are. It's not Find Your Friends. If you've got an Android phone or an iPhone, there is an app called Life 360. Now, I found it quite complicated to set up. I needed help with it to set up. It's called Life 360, Life. And if you download it, you can add people to your group. And then you can see on a map where they are. A bit like Find Your Friends, but of course, if you've got an Android, that doesn't have Find Your Friends. It might have its own version. But with the Life 360 thing, if you download that onto either your iPhone or your Android phone, whatever else you're using, you can add people to your group of friends, and then you can see where they are. And I can tell you, my sister at the moment is... blimey, she's on the M25 already. At 10 o'clock in the morning. The flight ain't till 3. Where is she? Bedmont. Abbots Langley. Oh, God, she'd be there so early. And I can see... Do you want to see it? Do you want to see this? Look. Wait a minute. You can see her moving along. She's the red thing. Look, watch. Watch. Yeah, see? It's moving. Isn't that clever? There you are. So I can see where she is. So I can see from here, she's probably about... She's getting towards Heathrow. She's probably about an hour and a half now away from Gatwick. So that's 10 to 11, 20 past 11, 12, 1, 2. She's got 4 hours to kill there at Gatwick, which is a long... If you fly a lot, that's a long time to be hanging around an airport. But she don't fly much, and neither does her brother-in-law. So they walk around the shops and all that business. She is going on an EasyJet plane, which means I've told her to take her own food. You know, otherwise it'd be like seven quid for a dried up old sandwich and probably about a £5 for a cup of tea on there. I don't think you can take drinks onto the plane. I can't remember how that works now. Clarissa used to live in Danebury Avenue. Did you really? What, in Roehampton, dear? Hang on a minute. Aren't you in Manchester, Clarissa? Did you live in Danebury Avenue in Roehampton? Is that what you're telling me, darling? Am I missing something? Am I disconnected for something in my head here somewhere? Because you know I lived in Roehampton, don't you? Is that Roehampton? You must tell me. Juan doesn't like the Beatles either. No. LaBelle's ex was a person called Shane. He was a builder. Oh, I can understand that now. I can understand that now. Did he have the muscles, Clarice? Did he have the muscles, LaBelle? Did you have the muscles as well? Good morning to Brad. Good morning to Brad this morning. Adrian has now reported me to the animals' rights or PETA for killing flies. Okay, fair enough. Let's see if they come round here and knock on the door. What are they going to do? Take the bleeding sink apart and try and get the fly and bring it back to life again? Holby City, they could do that on Holby City. Jack Naylor on Holby City can get anyone living again. That was good last night, Holby. Good morning to there's my niece, Tracey Clifford. She's watching in Cyprus this morning. How hot is it there at the moment, niece? How hot is it at the moment in La Cypre? Cyprus didn't do too well at the Eurovision, did they? Mind you, neither did anyone else. When we come bottom, we had 18 points, and then they found there was something wrong with the scoring system. So we were downgraded to 11, even less. What an insult that is. Yeah, I was my niece and her husband won't be used to very high temperatures. Now, I have been away before quite a lot. I've been very, very lucky over the years to be able to go to some wonderful places. I'm not a traveller, okay? I got to tell you, I don't like travelling. I hate getting on planes, whether it's in the nice seats or not. I just hate the whole experience of flying, getting to the bloody airport, sitting in that seat for hours on end, bored to tears. Can't bear it. However, so I'm probably a little bit more used to the high temperatures, but she's going to get over there. I think my niece said it was like 35, 40 degrees or something like that at the moment over there, which is just too hot. And they're not even in August. You know what I mean? And it can only just keep going up at the moment. Juan is off this morning. Good morning, Juan. Let's have a look. Let's just scroll down a little bit here. One moment. Yes, Clarissa lived in Roehampton. Well, Clarissa, I have to tell you that my sister used to live in Sherfield Gardens at the end. You'll know where that is. So you come down Danebury Avenue, shops on the left, a little bit further to the right, turn right. You kind of go up a hill, turn left. The long red blocks, the Masonettes, that's where my sister and her husband lived, where they started their family. When we were children, we lived in Hersham Close, which was up the other end on the Alton estate, again in the long red blocks. And in those days, Clarissa, that would have been, I was there until 1984. Okay? We were there 1969 until 1984. And it was a lovely place to live, Roehampton. It was very green. You felt very safe walking up and down that Danebury Avenue. You had the co-op at the other end, you know, just off Roehampton Lane. St. Joseph's Church is where I used to go as a little altar boy. And then later on I played the organ in there. I went to the Scouts, First Roehampton Scouts, which no longer exist, which I just upsets me quite a lot, that does, knowing that the First Roehampton Scouts no longer exist. In fact, there is no Scouts anymore in Roehampton. There really isn't, which is incredibly sad. I think it's a combination of things have changed over the years, and blokes don't want to do scout leader stuff anymore, because if someone throws an accusation, which happens all the time, now you only got to see it on the telly, you know, some kid, and you know children lie. Children lie. I've heard my great nephews and great nieces lying to their parents. You know children lie. And yet, if you've got a scout leader or something and some kid says, oh, he touched me or something, there, immediately the child is believed, you see. And then that person's name is dirt. Now, it may happen that later on, the child says, no, I didn't mean it, I was lying. Doesn't matter. Your name is ruined. Ruined. And that's why people, including myself, don't want to do it anymore. It's not worth the risk. And I think that's an incredible shame. I had some of my best times in the Scouts. Some scary times as well, climbing on loads of wood piles with great big rusty nails sticking out of them. Going on walks and getting lost. Incredible times in the Scouts. Going in the gang show and stuff like that. And then I was a leader for a time, around about 1984, 1985. I had a little scout group, 3rd Roehampton we had. And I did that for about a year or so. Then I gave that up. But now I wouldn't do it now. No way. You must be joking. You know, parents running around screaming this, my child said this, da, 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 therefore they are right. And then you know, a few weeks later they come, oh, I'm sorry I said that. You know, my child has now told me the truth. But what about in that period of time? You've now got a bad name and you'll never clear it. You never clear it. Dreadful. And isn't that sad? That's why they are so desperate for scout leaders now. No one wants to do it anymore because of that. Sad. I mean, the other way to do it would put bloody cameras up everywhere, I suppose. But once, what's the point? You know, what's the point? There's no point. Morning to John Aitken. Just got back from Tesco's, saw a couple of girls shoplifting. The security guy outside was having a cigarette. I'm going to call the head office and tell them. Let me tell you, so that's John. My mate has reported theft in Sainsbury's once. Right? And he reported it to the people on the till. Okay, thank you for reporting that. And he's like, aren't you going to do anything? No, we just let them go. What's the point of that then? Oh, it's shocking. Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Clarissa. Joe and Damien, that's her kids, went to the Alton Primary School right at the bottom of Danebury Avenue. Yes, on the left. I know where. Good God, well, I never knew you lived in Roehampton, Clarissa. Isn't it a small world? It's such a small world, it really is. Tracy, there's my niece, is only mid-20s today, but we hit 38 degrees last week. Oh, that's too hot, Tracy. I actually looked at your weather for the next week because my sister was, it's going to be 40 degrees. So I brought it up last night while we were sitting there in the trawler's catch having our fish and chips. And I was having my baked beans and chips in Skegness last night. I said, it's not 40 degrees at all, Sharon. It's like maximum 28 over the next week or so. Oh, well, that's what Tracy said. You know what she's like, dear. All right. Clarissa was at the top of the tower blocks. Oh, you must have had a lovely view of Richmond Park from there, did you? Oh, it's beautiful. Those tower blocks, okay, yeah, I mean, I know that. Where were you? Let's have a look. Do you say that? Wheatley House. Oh, where's that one now? Is that the narrow tall blocks, or is it the long ones? I'm not sure which ones you were at. But if you were at the top of a block of flats, you would have had a damn good view over that Richmond Park. Do you know those flats are like £400,000 now, ex-council flats, and the lifts. The lifts were always very they never used to break down that much, those lifts, did they? My nan was in one of those blocks, the thin one, the sort of, you know, the square ones, very tall. She was on the 3rd floor. Farnborough House, I think it was. I might be wrong with that. Or Lindsay House. But was quite near to Roehampton Lane, that one. All right. LaBelle. Shane, that's her ex-boyfriend, was a heavyweight wrestler. Oh, you lucky cow. More bearish. Oh, no, I'm not into bears, really, LaBelle. Not really into bears. More like swimmer's build. That's me. Yes, please. Thank you. Very alpha male. I don't think he knew what to do with a fairy like me. Oh. Oh, excuse me. 1997, so that was a long time after me. Clarissa was in the Brownie and Guides. Oh, were you? There was this guide leader that we all knew. Now, what was her name? Oh, she was strict to those girls. Really strict. Flo Bolton, that was her name. Flo Bolton. And she, of course, she meant well. It's just her way of doing things. She was really strict. You never had a row with Flo Bolton. Flo Bolton, that was her name. She looked after the guides there. Adrian, I was your ex-scout person. I have to inform you, you touched me on Saturday. I know it's hard to resist, but then you touched me so badly it affected me. Now, anyone that knows you and me, Adrian, would know that I would never go within a barge pole's distance of you. So now we know you're one of the kids that lies just to get people into trouble, aren't you? Huh? You are. You're a liar, dear. Liar, pants on fire. Dear me. Tangley Grove. I know Tangley Grove. That was at 11th floor. 11th floor. The view was awesome. Yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was, darling. Let's just go away there. Klaatu says, "Are you a real earthling?" Only just. I love it. Are you a real earthling? Not really, no. I am from another planet. You know that. I am definitely from another planet. Oh, I found it. Oh, it was so exciting yesterday. I went swimming yesterday in Boston, which is where I'm going this morning. But unfortunately, I've left my swimming shorts, and I know exactly where I left them, hanging up on the little hook under the shower, or the shower's in there. Good, powerful showers, but it's got curtains. Instead of having like a door, it's got those curtains, and you turn around, and it sticks to your body. Oh, all those germs, dear, from other people's bodies, attacking me like that. Awful. Anyway, there's a little hook outside where you hang your sort of towel and shorts, in my case, or the fat old blokes who are wearing trunks. Actually, there's nothing. I haven't seen anyone wearing them in there. You know the Speedos and cycling shorts that great big fat blokes wear who are sort of my age. I mean, they wouldn't look good on me. Believe me, little Speedos would not look good on me. You've got to wear shorts, so please, dress appropriately for the pool, boys. Come on. If you're of an age, anyone sort of over the age of 30, maybe up to 38, anyone over 38, you shouldn't be wearing Speedos anymore, sunshine. No. Baggy shorts. It hides the fat. Just. Although even that seems to be falling over the edge of those shorts now. So there are. I've got my shorts hanging up there, and I know that's where I've left them. So I'll if I've got another pair here, which I'm not sure I have, I'll take those with me just in case. But I don't know whether I should stop off at Asda and get a cheap pair, because that's on the way to the swimming pool. I could get a cheap pair in there and take those in, or should, if I've not got any, should I go straight there and hope that they've still got them? I don't know. They may or may not have. Doesn't matter. They were only a cheap pair anyway. But then when I was putting my stuff, and I've got my stuff back, and there was a locker door open. There was a locker door open. Well, all the doors are open. All the doors are open. But I spotted someone had left a £1 coin in the... You know, you put the £1 coin in the slot and you lock the door. Then when you open the door, it drops back down in like a little receptacle underneath. So I thought, I'll have that. So I've had this £1 coin out of there, thinking no more of it. Then later on, when we were in Skegness... it was my turn to buy the dinner today, and I'm paying this. So I've got, given him the money, and I know 21. It was three lovely meals we have in there. It comes to about 21 quid usually. Handed over the money along with a £1 coin, and he's giving it back to me. He said, "Oh, that's an old one." I said, "Is it?" And he's giving me, and I'm looking at it, and I'm thinking, it looks like a normal £1 coin to me. Have I got it here? Hang on, I'll get it for you. Just a minute, I'll have to unplug. Oh, where's my wire? Oh, I was not going to say, I must be plugged in. Let me just go and get my £1 coin. If there's a new one, LaBelle, this will be of interest to you because they're different. Now, just a second, I've got to unplug myself. You won't hear me for a second. 1 minute. And we're back on air. Right, hang on. Let me see if I got this here. Yeah, here it is. Right. So here it is. So this is what came out of the locker. All right. You see that all right? Okay. And I paid this to the bloke in the thing. And I'm like, he said, "We don't take the old £1 coins." And he's giving it back to me. And I'm thinking, is that an old £1 coin? And he's like, "Well, yeah." And I looked at my sister, and she looked at me. She said, "Oh, you've got one of those." And I'm like, what's wrong with it? And then I had to look at one of the new ones and remind myself that that's what they look like now. They're kind of silver in the middle with gold around the outside, and they used to be gold all over. There's the old one, there's the new one. Can you see the difference there? You can, can't you? And plus that one's more shining. But they're the same shape. And I'd completely forgotten that that's an old pound coin. And the reason that they changed them is because there were a lot of fake ones in circulation. Apparently they were quite easy to make, old pound coins. So that's why they've got the two coloured ones now. And I had completely forgotten. He said, well, you can change it and probably be able to change it in a bank if you want to. I said, I'm not going to bother with pounds, am I? You know. But funny that, isn't it? I suppose I could keep that one and use that for the locker in the swimming pool, I suppose. Something like that. Right, hang on a minute. Let's just scroll down here. LaBelle, excuse you. I don't know how you mean over 38 in Speedos. Have you seen some of those sexy seniors whose bodies but 20 years old to shame? No, I haven't actually. Is there some of those? Maybe I'd be interested in those, LaBelle. Klaatu wink, yeah. Euros? Oh, please do me a favour. We don't use euros, not in this country, dear. Not now or ever. There's no euros in this country, love. Pretend money, that is. If you've got any euros, just get it out next time you're playing a game of Monopoly. That's about that's all that good for. All right. There's someone doing religious stuff there. John Aiken, I can't believe you tried to give the ways for an old coin. Well, that's an idea. Maybe I'll give it as a tip next time. See how old H at the hairdresser goes with that one. Right, let's do a couple of stories. Oh, what's the time? 10:10? Christ, I've been here for nearly an hour. I'm supposed to be cutting this down to 45 minutes a show. Now, watch out, gang. If you're... Oh, no, hang on a minute. Where are we? Facebook fraudsters. Now, you may already have seen, and I was going to do this on the show, but we're running out of time now, really. I must get down to that swimming pool, see if my shorts are still there. You may have seen a little post I put up about Facebook today. Like men, a lot of people have messaged me privately about this, and just about the general toxicity of some of the posts that you see on Facebook now. People attacking each other, politicians, this, that and the other, for whatever reason. And it's just unnecessary. It's just unnecessary. You just scroll up and down your Facebook page when you finish with me and you see people living their lives up there, shouting and screaming at their ex-partners, this, that and the other. And it's just dreadful. It's just dreadful. And my question to you is, apart from this show, which I'm sure makes you very, very happy, scrolling up and down people's various stories on Facebook, is that making you happy? Because it's certainly not making me happy. Really. I mean, I spend far too much time picking up the phone. Oh, let's just see if I've got any Facebook messages. All the time I'm doing it, all day long. And then you scroll. Oh, you know, she's moaning about Donald Trump. That one's moaning about Brexit. That one's moaning about the NHS. That one's moaning about her ex-partner. He's moaning about that. And it's just awful. And there's some really nasty people on there, I've discovered. Really, really nasty people. And I don't want to see it anymore. I've just about had enough of it. I don't want to see it anymore. So I've kind of decided that I'm only going to go on the Facebook now, number one, to do these shows. Because I love doing them. And let's be honest, Facebook is an ideal platform to do this, isn't it really? That, YouTube as well, I carry on doing those. I also upload adverts to the karaoke night that I might be doing or someone like that. But apart from that, I'm not going to bother anymore. I'm not going to bother liking people's posts or reading them. I'm closing off to that whole Facebook thing because I honestly don't think it's making me happy, or possibly you as well. Often, now and again, we get this little message come up. Facebook would like to know your opinion. Do you think Facebook has made the world a better place? No, I do not. What it's done is create an awful lot of rowing and moaning and negativity. I don't want to be surrounded by negativity. And one of the biggest negative places I can see at this moment is Facebook. Awful. So I've decided to kind of come off that, which will stop me hopefully picking up the phone every 5 minutes. And if someone sent a message, then, you know, just have to wait until I log on again the next morning and do a show. I'm not going to be a slave to a bloody machine all the time. Don't know what you think about that. I was going to do that earlier on in the show today, but we kind of start talking about other stuff, and I like to bring up your messages and that sort of thing. You know, Adrian, here, Chris, you've been attacking me all morning. Yeah, well, look at you, love. You are there to be attacked, Adrian. You ask for it, dear. You instigate the attack yourself, dear. That's what it is. He's now in a terrible state because of this. Now I'm hurt. Oh, what a shame. If you're a snowflake, go and melt somewhere and don't bother us again, Adrian, then. But you see, you have to understand that the level of nastiness that I'm at isn't nasty at all. It's all a bit of a joke. It's humour. It's what we call humour. It's what people of my age call humour. We are rarely offended by anything. We really aren't. It's humour. And the nastiness I give out, you know damn well, Adrian, is not nasty at all. It's designed to make you laugh. It's just the way I am. And it's not offensive in any way, shape or form. But people on the Facebook, God. And I think it was Mike earlier, Mike Reese-Ponto, I think it might have been Mike, or someone else who said, why don't you come off Facebook and use YouTube or Twitter instead? Well, Twitter's even worse. Have you seen some of the stuff people put on Twitter, including myself? And that needs to stop as well, because I don't want to be pulled along like this. Years ago, I did a show on a radio station called Play Radio, it was called. It wasn't on air for very long. It was a talk station. And Tommy Boyd, who you may remember from Magpie, brought me into this. And I'd done a couple of shows. And they were very sort of come around the house and have a cup of tea and a chat type shows. And someone says to me, you need to be a little bit more nasty. And I'm like, what do you mean? He said, well, you're talking about, and part of the show was to listen to other people's podcasts and comment on them. So I would. But I wouldn't be particularly nasty about it, like Simon Cowell is. When he's, you know, being honest doesn't mean you need to be nasty. Okay? Sometimes being honest is often a cover for being nasty. And I think it's unnecessary. And I was told, you know, you need to be a bit nastier on your show. And I'm like, why? Well, you are. You're not really being honest. I said, well, I can't be honest if it's going to hurt someone. That's how I was. And he said, well, do you want just try it for a while? And I'm like, well, I can't. I can't. And I just think there are times and places, and Facebook isn't the place for it. It's just nastiness. But you know, there we are. Adrian, I must admit, I don't get offended that easily. Oh, well, I'll have to try harder then, Adrian. Most people are not good at doing it. I've had training from people used to work with the top of their game, being offensive or trying to be, and I'm not easily shocked. Neither am I, you see. We are just not offended. We laugh at the world. We all used to just laugh at things going on around us without being angry or annoyed all the bloody time, you know. Dan, 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 dan. Oh, moan and moan. They moan and they moan and they moan, don't they? So I kind of decided to come off the Facebook, and I'll be here as always to do my shows, hopefully, and to advertise in a bit of pieces. There are other people on here who are obsessed by the amount of people that like their posts. I've seen that come up a couple of times. Something like, you know, can't believe I uploaded a photograph and none of you have liked it or commented. I mean, how sad is that? You live your life by how many likes you get on a photograph. or how many comments you get on your post. And why does that bother anyone? I don't get it. Why would that bother you? If I did the show here and, no one liked it at all, so be it. I'd still do another one. I'd carry on doing it. Doesn't bother me at all. But how people can live their lives by amount of likes or whatever, it's just a bit odd. Bit odd. Very, very strange world. Very, very strange world. John, I like your sarcastic sense of humour, but there's a lot of bitchy people on Facebook. There absolutely is. There's a lot of them on there. You've only got to watch them. Just have a look. When I finish the show, which will be in, you'll be glad to know, is only a few minutes away, then I can let you get on with your sad, lonely, pathetic lives once again until the next show. All right? We'll be finishing very shortly. Just scroll down. Scroll down and look at the people screaming at other people because they don't like what they think. Someone might put up... I often see something put up by something on the sort of realms of Catholics or the Pope or someone like that. And someone will reply to that, yeah, a church full of paedophiles. What, is that in the same way as all black people are shoplifters, or all Muslims are bombers, or all gay people are sick in the head? Is that on the same reason as that? Is it? You see what I'm saying? It's so wrong to attack groups of people just because of a few others have done something wrong. It's just, as they make up the bloody rules as they go along, I swear. I swear. Adrian says, I never get any likes on my pictures when I put them on Facebook. Don't know why. I'll have a little word with you at the weekend, Adrian, and I'll explain why. Okay? Maybe if you Photoshop them a bit. You give me the ammunition. You absolutely give me the ammunition, don't you? Oh dear. All righty. Let's do today's birthdays, boys and girls, and then we'll be out of here. And then you won't see me again till tomorrow. I'm just gonna come off it completely. I've had enough of it. Where are we? Here we go. Tim Ryan. Good morning, Tim. He's in Australia. One of my cousins in Australia. Lovely bloke. Happy birthday to you, Tim. All right. Have a lovely day. .com today. Very famous drag queen. Good morning, .com. Well, getting famous. Okay, getting famous. All right. .com. Someone who I worked with for the first time a little while ago. And very, very good show. Very friendly. Very natural. Very natural. He comes on the stage and he hears himself, and that kind of works. Happy birthday to you, .com. All right. Fatjon, who's 26 today. Fatjon Ret Kosiri, I think it is, 26. Happy birthday. That's a nice age, 26. Shaun Kerr is 40 today. Remember, Shaun, life begins at 40 and it gets even better after 50, believe me. Happy birthday to you, Shaun. Kay Bargrove today is 50 years old. Garry Simon. Good morning, Garry. Happy birthday to you. Tom. Hello, Tom. Curtez. Good morning, Tom. Lovely man. I worked with him in Belushi's in London Bridge. 29 years old today. Happy birthday, Tom. Happy days, Belushi's. Oh, I miss that so much. Happy birthday. Karen Barrett. Good morning, Karen. Karen Barrett. She was a nurse years ago. Happy birthday to you. It's David. David Michael Alderton Skinner. 32 years old today. I like that picture, David. Happy birthday to you. Carolanne White, it's her birthday today. And Kristo Maximus, also his birthday today. So once again, gang, I still, after over a year now, I still have not managed to put the happy birthday tune onto the system. So it'll just be me singing without music. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, gang. No Way, you've joined us very, very late in the show today. Good morning, No Way. Just joining us there on Vaughan Live. Michael walks down the road, and when people see me coming, put their phone away like I'm going to mug them, even though I have my own phone. See, Michael's black. And he is judged for his colour. People have judged him just because it's black. And it's just so sad that people are like that. It really is. Another one of my friends who's black, what's his name? Not Jacob. Oh, gosh, I can't remember his name now. But he'll always have trouble when he goes into a bar. Always. Terrible. Michael, the other Michael, I agree. Some people are just plain Debbie Downers. Yeah, let's not be downers anymore. Don't be down. Be uppers. Be uppers. That's what we need to be. Uppers. Right, I'm going. I'm going to see if my shorts are still there at the Boston swimming pool, boys and girls. Thanks ever so much for joining us on the show today. You have a lovely day. And I'll see you again very soon. Oh, my lilies have all opened outside. I'll do some pictures and I'll show them to you tomorrow morning, okay? Have a nice day. Thanks so much for listening. Bye-bye now.